Thank you very much. This is a big microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here today. Please be seated. Happy Labor Day. First to Pastor Salvador Sabino and Kenya Sabino. Let's give them a great round of applause for their leadership and for what you do. The pastor mentioned my distinguished colleagues who are here, but they are so distinguished I want to mention them twice. Ruben Diaz, your borough president, who is doing an extraordinary job. Assemblyman Marcos Crespo, who was on the first plane down to Puerto Rico. Marcos Crespo, who followed us. Congressman Adriano Espaillat, we are so proud of him. He is a pioneer, what he has done here, what he's doing in Washington. Senator Brian Benjamin, who works in the State Senate with me, is a partner. Let's give him a round of applause. And to the leadership and the members of the Heavenly Vision Christian Center, thank you. Thank you very much for having me here today. Thank you for your time. And it is an important time in this country. And that's why it's my pleasure to be here today. This is not about the normal politics. It's not whether you put a donkey on your lapel or an elephant on your lapel. This is not about Democrat, Republican politics. This is about who we are as a country and what we believe. That's what's going on. That's the dialogue that we're having in this country right now. And we have a different vision from Washington. We have a president who sees a different America than we see here in the state of New York. It's that simple. And he's been there about 1 year and 9 months, and if you follow what he's been doing, you look at the actions, and the actions paint a portrait of America. And his America is repugnant to the America that we believe in. Everything he is doing, we believe the opposite in New York. He's trying to cut the Affordable Health Care Act because he believes health care is a luxury. We're trying to make sure everybody has health care in the state of New York. He is trying to cut the aid to young people who want to go to college. We're offering the first free college tuition program in the United States. Thank you. He just did a tax cut that gave all the money away to the rich who needed it least. And we believe in helping the working men and women of this state, and that's why we're the first state to raise the minimum wage from $9 to $15 an hour. That's going to make a difference in people's lives. We believe too many people are getting killed by gun violence, and there are too many guns on the street. We passed the best gun control law in the United States of America, called the SAFE Act, and this president is owned by the NRA, and his answer to every problem is the same thing: give more people guns. We believe that's the exact opposite way to go. And what they're trying to do in Washington now is for drug addicts and people who sell drugs, they want more prison time. They're even talking about the death penalty for drug dealers, believe it or not. In this state, we're going the exact opposite way. We believe we lock up too many young people in prisons. I'm proud to be the governor who has closed more prisons than any governor in the history of the state of New York, and more alternatives to incarceration. But the most dangerous thing they're doing is he has set a tone of division in this country. And their theory from day one has been divide and conquer. And if you listen to him over the past year, 9 months, one by one he tells you who he hates. He hates the Muslims. They're not good Americans. Well, Haitians he doesn't like. Guatemalans he doesn't like. Africans he doesn't like. One by one. What he's saying is people who look different, people who have a different skin color, people who speak a different language, their difference makes them bad. And that is hateful speech. And it is destructive speech. He started it in his campaign. He never deceived anyone. The first thing he started talking about in the campaign was, I'm going to build a wall. What is the wall about? A wall is about separation. That's what the wall means. I'm going to build a wall. I want to keep them out, keep us on this side. That's the metaphor, the separation. And who are the they that he wants to keep out? They are the different people. They are the different. And different is bad. From day one, he said that. And that's exactly what they have been doing. The worst is when he came out and he said it. There was a demonstration in Charlottesville where the white supremacists came to demonstrate. The Ku Klux Klan came, and white people came to protest against them, and minorities came to protest against them. The white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, was so emboldened that they didn't even bother to cover their heads and their faces. First time they appeared without their hoods because they thought that they were protected. And what does the President of the United States say afterwards? Well, there are good people on both sides of the argument. No, Mr. President, there are no good white supremacists. There are no good KKK members, Mr. President. And when you start that discussion, and you start that hate and that division, it is like a cancer in the body politic. Because now you look at everybody and you look at differences, and once you say differences are bad, then you take our strength, which is our diversity, and you make it a weakness. And that is exactly what they have done. And it's like putting a match in dry grass, and then it takes off like a fire. Year and 9 months he's been president. Number of white supremacist groups being formed has gone up 40%. Number of anti-Semitic attacks in New York has gone up over 50%. Think about it. Why have attacks versus Jewish people gone up? Because they're different. And hate against differences doesn't discriminate. And whether you're Jewish or you're black or you're brown or you're Asian, it doesn't matter. You're not white. And that's where we are. And that brings me to Puerto Rico, which the pastor mentioned. What happened in Puerto Rico was an international disgrace. 1 year ago, this week, Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. 1 year ago this week. And that was Mother Nature, and we can't question what Mother Nature does. We can question the response of government to what Mother Nature does. And what they did in Puerto Rico was a tragedy. They basically abandoned Puerto Rico. They didn't provide the federal help, the federal assistance, the federal care that they should have provided. We were on the first plane the next morning. We got there, you know what we saw? Destruction everywhere and no federal response anywhere. Now, You had Puerto Rico, you had Florida, and you had Texas. They all had storms at about the same time. We went back and looked. Puerto Rico got less help and less attention than Florida and Texas. On what theory? Puerto Ricans are American citizens. And there are no second-class American citizens. But in the federal thinking, because they were Puerto Ricans, because they look a little different, the language is a little different, for some reason, they get treated differently than Florida and Texas. That, my friends, is discriminatory. It's ignorant, and it's anti-American, and we're not going to let it stand. Now, we went to Puerto Rico, and we said to the people of Puerto Rico, we apologize for the federal government and the lack of response, but New York is going to step up because that's who we are, and that's what we do. We sent down thousands of volunteers, millions of dollars in goods. The borough president, Marcos Crespo, Adriano, they organized donations all across the state. New York was the silver lining in the storm to Puerto Rico. But we said we are not going to leave Puerto Rico until the job is done. We just finished, over the past few weeks this summer, we did another rebuilding effort where we got our college students from our state schools, from SUNY and from CUNY. And we sent down the college students to rebuild home by home. 650 college students went down. But there is more to do. This president is an elected president. He is not a king. He may think he's a king. He may act like a king. He may put his name in gold letters like a king, but he is not a king. And the law is still the law. And we are going to hold him to the law. And someone has to stand up to this president. You know what this president is? He's a bully. He's a bully. You know what they do in the Bronx or Queens? How you handle a bully? The bully puts his finger in your chest. You put your finger right back in his chest. That's how we handle a bully. And we're saying the unfair treatment of Puerto Rico, where we now find out over 2,900 people lost their lives. Worse than Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, where it was 1,800. Worse. And remember how much attention Hurricane Katrina got? It was on the news night after night after night after night. Puerto Rico, 2 days, and the cameras left, and everybody forgot. 2,900 people versus 1,800 in Hurricane Katrina. And I'll tell you why else it was worse than Katrina. Not only did more people die, in Katrina, they were incompetent in their response. In Puerto Rico, they never tried. They never tried. I worked in the federal government. I was in the federal government under Bill Clinton for 8 years. I did the emergency management. I know what this country can do. I did the Los Angeles earthquakes. I did Homestead, Florida. I went to the Dominican Republic after they had a disaster to help rebuild. I went to Haiti. I went to Ecuador. I know what this country can do. They never tried in Puerto Rico. And Florida got attention, Texas got attention, and Puerto Rico got the short end of the stick. That is not just wrong and unethical and despicable, it is also illegal.
It is illegal. And we're going to hold King Trump to the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution said equal protection under the law. And Puerto Rico did not receive equal protection under the law. They got a different level of care than Texas and Florida and other states. That's not just wrong, it's illegal. And we're going to work with the Puerto Rican families, and we're going to sue the President of the United States for violating the Constitution and violating the equal protection law, because we're going to stand with Puerto Rico the way we said we would. And in New York State, we're going to fight back, and we're going to show this bully president that the law is the law. Thank you, and God bless you.